Hello, families. So this week's homework is going to be a little bit different. We've got gathering this week, which is going to be on Friday at 2:20, and I encourage you to all come. It'll be a good time. We'll just be sharing some of the things that we've been learning about in our classroom. Because it's gathering, and there's going to be a lot of work that we're doing at getting prepared for that. This homework is going to be the homework this week is going to mostly be getting resources for your child's expert project on animals. There's two other things on that. One is there's going to be this week's spelling list is actually something we built together as a class. We're looking more at spelling patterns, and we started with the ACK at the end of a word pattern. And the kids created a list, and we looked at it, and we're thinking what were the ones we would use a lot more than others. And so we came up with a list of 9, and then your child can come up with one extra, one that follows that same pattern. The other thing is a math game, and I'm going to try to put on the YouTube video a link. I always see people when they do this, so they point down, like, it'll be like here somewhere, a link where your child, you can watch the tutorial of a math game that we played in class. And if you were here at curriculum night, it's the same game, so you may not have to even watch the video. But if you weren't here, that video is there for you, just so you know how to play with your child. But let's talk about expert projects and their resources. The first thing is that I would suggest with your child's expert project that you help them choose an animal that you believe they're going to find enough resources that they can understand about. And so one of the things that I had them do today is they're going to come home with a note card. And they had to come up with their top 3 options. And I cautioned them. I said, kids were saying, I'm doing tiger. Well, I was like, well, you don't know. What if you get to the library and there's no more books there about the tiger? So I had them come up with 3 specific animals that they believe that they're going to find a lot about. So the reason it's specific is I've had some students do expert projects on sharks. Well, there's lots of different types of sharks, and they're all very different. And so great white shark would be an animal that you would probably find more information on. Same thing with snakes, whales, all that. So the 3 that I chose my first choice was moose, my second choice was eagle, my third choice was the humpback whale. And just to show them, there's lots of different types of whale, but if you can zero in on one particular one that you're going to find a lot of information about. The homework this week is that by Friday, your child needs to have the resources that they would use for researching. And we will start researching next week. The reason I want them on Friday is because I want to be able to check and make sure that those resources are going to be good for them to read on their own. We're trying to have it where they can access most of it independently. You can access this online. I will be sending a link that has a couple of good research search engines that kids can use and be able to change up reading levels so that you guys can help with that at home. But they need to be here Friday just to make sure that no one is here next week when we start researching and they're like, I don't have my resources, so you can help with that. I'd like there to be a balance of books and online articles. But even the online articles, it's a little more tricky because they've got to be able to understand it. So if you could if maybe you could sit with your child and read it a little bit, just to make sure that that it's accessible for them. But guess what? Most of the work is actually going to be done in class. So I kind of want to walk you through what it's going to be, and then you'll have this home so that you can walk your child through it as well. Most of the work is done in the classroom, which is great for you because you don't have to do a poster board. I actually use these opportunities to help the children do more work on the Chromebooks because it prepares us for 3rd grade. So it also can be shared with you so that you can access it at home with your child. And I also included a list of what is going to have to be done and where is it done. So collecting resources, that's all this week, that's done at home. Researching is going to be done here in the classroom. You will also have a couple of days where you check on it, and we'll get to that later. Collecting and organizing information is going to be done in the classroom. Sketches, done in the classroom. Revising and editing, classroom. And then finally publishing in the classroom, that's like adding pictures, changing up the fonts, things like that. But there will be some of that done at home. This is a calendar of the dates, so that'll be included. This date we actually don't have children in school. This is a half day. We'll still work on it in class that day. And finally, this is the day that we're going to the zoo, but we won't be at the zoo all day. We'll probably be publishing the day before, but those kids that are still here, we will continue to publish that day. A flex day is a kind of a catch-up day where if you're behind on something, you can use these flex days that are built in to kind of get caught up. And then finally, for the presentations, there will be 4 days of presentations, and there will be a share fair that we do that's actually on Grandparents' Day. So for Grandparents' Day, we'll walk the grandparents through what we do for expert projects and share them. You'll notice that there are parts of this that says sketches and show work to a parent at home. Those are built in. That's intentional so that you can kind of keep an eye on how your child is progressing, and they can walk you through what kind of new work they've been doing. This is the rubric that I'll use to assess your child. Come back up so you can see it. But basically, amount of information, quality of information. You need to have enough, and it needs to be about the most important information about the animal. Is it organized, so are the facts under the right subheadings? There's a presentation part, so it's just that they practice working on the grammar that we've been using. Chromebook use, so if they're using their Chromebook wisely. Sketches, is their sketch accurate? And then finally, listening skills, are they actually listening and contributing to their other presentations? The required subheadings are right here. So animal class, measurements, habitat and range, diet, lifespan, life cycle, special characteristics, and other interesting information. Think about that as the miscellaneous slide. And this is the at-home checklist. So your child will go home a few days and they'll walk you through this, and there are parts that they're going to tell you about and parts that you're going to tell them about, and I mark them in. You'll get it signed and brought back the next day. And the only time that I would have your child do more extra work at home, sorry about that, is let's say that they were, let's say that there was a day where they weren't just weren't as focused. I'd probably send you a letter saying, hey, they need to make up some of that time at home. But they're explaining the reason for that as well. But all right, hopefully that link down the bottom works. If not, there will be a separate video for the math game. All right, thank you.